Etsy just became the first marketplace that you can buy from inside ChatGPT. No website, no cart, just show me these items, then bam, buy. Today, I'm breaking down what this means for buyers and how Etsy sellers can get ahead of the competition. In case you're new here, my name is Starla, founder of the Handmade Alpha Academy for Etsy sellers and manager at erank.com, Etsy's most popular SEO tool. And as revealed in September, buyers in the US can now discover your product in ChatGPT and complete the purchase right in the chat. So let's discuss how it works, what you need to know, and the 5 updates that I recommend making in your shop this week. When someone asks ChatGPT for product ideas like ceramic mug under $40 or gifts for a plant lover, ChatGPT now has the potential to show relevant products listed on Etsy. If your listing is eligible, the buyer taps buy, confirms shipping and payment, and they're done. As of right now, since you can't exactly build a cart in ChatGPT, single item checkouts are all that's possible for now. However, it's been stated that multi-item carts and more regions are coming later. As for you, sellers will see those orders come in just like any typical order placed through Etsy, and you'll handle fulfillment as usual, and after checkout, the buyer gets an Etsy email receipt. If they want to message you or leave a review, they connect their order to their Etsy account using the same email. Now, one downside that we've discovered is that Etsy gift cards and Etsy coupons unfortunately don't work inside ChatGPT yet, which is a huge bummer since Etsy holiday gift cards are becoming very popular with shoppers. But hey, at least it's a start. Now, a lot of people have speculated that this placement through ChatGPT may eventually become a paid or even an Etsy Plus feature. However, as of right now, OpenAI has stated that search results are organic and unsponsored, meaning that you currently don't have to pay to play. We'll see how long that lasts. Now, I know what you're thinking because it's probably pretty similar to what I was thinking when Etsy made this announcement. Is this even gonna be popular? And maybe it's because I like to do my shopping the old-fashioned way, but I was skeptical. Who the heck wants to use AI to shop? Well, apparently a lot of people. In fact, since this announcement was made back in September, ChatGPT has remained Etsy's top referral for the last 3 months. Basically, this means that of all the places that send traffic to Etsy, including PayPal, ChatGPT is the top referring site. Now, obviously, this doesn't include search engine referrals like Google, but ChatGPT has outranked social media entirely. That's pretty significant if you ask me. Which means that even if you're not on board with the AI train, it may be worth your time to adapt your listings to those shoppers who are using it. And thankfully, it's not as hard as you think because most of the things that ChatGPT wants to see are things that we should technically already be doing. So let's discuss 5 quick wins that you can accomplish before Black Friday and Cyber Monday. As you've probably guessed already, ChatGPT is looking at our photos, which is a different story from Etsy's algorithm, but something that we should be mindful of all the same. Essentially, this just means that your first photo does the heavy lifting. ChatGPT showcases product listings quickly, and they only select a few of the best listings. To appeal to their engine, your thumbnail specifically needs to be bright, uncluttered, and text-free, so it reads well in a tiny space. The more props and text that appear on your photo, the harder it'll likely be for ChatGPT to figure out what exactly is being sold. So if you only retake 1 photo this week, make it your best seller's first image. While photos are super important, that doesn't mean that keywords are being totally ignored. In fact, ChatGPT is matching a shopper's plain English query to product relevance, just like Etsy's algorithm does, which means sellers should focus on putting the most obvious words first in their titles. Again, something that you should have been doing all along, so if you need a refresher, be sure to watch my new Etsy SEO tutorial for 2026. In addition to your SEO, it's also important to fill out all applicable attributes, which are these little drop-down menus within your listing. Etsy tells us that these attributes work similarly to tags, so filling out the most accurate details such as color, size, materials, and style can help to improve matching. During our research over on the eRank channel, we also found that terms utilized in image alt text were also assisting with ChatGPT's matching. But as always, this doesn't mean that you should be cramming your image alt text with keywords. In fact, ChatGPT is more likely to ignore keyword-stuffed listings instead of prioritizing those that utilize more natural human language. And this is extremely important when it comes to your alt text because these areas are used primarily for accessibility to those with visual impairments.
So I have a couple graphics on this page.
Mark Sutton hands on a MacBook Pro image.
So the first one is well described and uses an alt tag.
You are currently on it.
To describe what that graphic is all about. Now we go to the next graphic.
Reader 042116.jpg.
Much less useful.
When filling out your alt text, imagine that you're describing your image to someone who's blind. What are the colors, textures, and even the uses being displayed in the photo? All of these things can help both ChatGPT as well as those utilizing screen readers to more easily access your listings. So what about descriptions? Etsy themselves have stated that their own search engines don't use descriptions for the keyword matching phase of search, instead using them to gather more specific context about an item. And when it comes to ChatGPT, the overall idea of context may be equally important. Think about how someone might ask ChatGPT for a gift idea. On Etsy, a shopper might search for gifts for husband or men's stocking stuffers. But with ChatGPT, the prompts tend to be more conversational, such as, I'm looking for a Christmas gift for my husband. Something handmade and special, but not too flashy or expensive. Show me some ideas. With this in mind, sellers should prioritize the use of natural language descriptions, while also being mindful of how someone might ask for your product in conversation. What might someone ask ChatGPT in order to find your products, and how can you naturally incorporate those queries into your description? Ultimately, you want to use your descriptions to answer those conversational cues, because the AI may match phrasing from the user's query to your description. Before we get into the final tip, which I personally think will make the biggest impact on ChatGPT's recommendations, I just want to quickly mention that next week, I'll be accepting new students into my top-rated Etsy coaching program for the first time in 6 months, but only for 10 days. The Handmade Alpha Academy is my 9-module training program that teaches sellers how to build, market, and grow dominant brands on Etsy step by step. In the Handmade Alpha Academy, we focus on defining your ideal target customer and effectively targeting them through proven psychological triggers. In fact, we're currently the only Etsy course in the world built on a foundation of neuromarketing, which is why we have over 2,000 students, many of whom run their businesses full-time. Not to mention, I give you tons of incentives to ensure that you have everything that you need to start your journey, including 1 year of eRank Pro for your SEO research, annual access to our Alpha Holiday Bootcamp to game up for Q4 of each year, and my favorite, the Product Photography Essentials Workshop by expert photography coach Christina Nicole. And hey, I know that taking a leap of faith is hard. I'm just another stranger on the internet. Which is exactly why HAA includes a 30-day, zero questions asked money-back guarantee. If you get inside and don't absolutely love the program, we'll refund you in full. Limited registration only takes place from December 1st through December 10th. So if this sounds like something that you may be interested in checking out, be sure to visit the link up here or down below in the video description to check out our success stories and the class curriculum. Okay, back to the good stuff. Lastly, AI values context. This means that leveraging your brand's story and what makes your products unique is more important than ever before. Etsy's own seller handbook reminds us that listing visibility isn't just about keywords, the human connection matters. And in a world where no one shopping on Etsy is actively looking for mass-produced junk, AI is more likely to recommend listings that fit the overall Etsy vibe and ethos. Using your About section and even product descriptions to describe what makes your products unique, how they're handmade, and if they're ethically produced, or even mentioning terms like small batch, may help to differentiate your listings from competitors. In your listing copy, mention who you are, such as the maker or artisan, why you made the product or your story, and how it's made, such as the process or even the materials used. These are all narrative signals that may help ChatGPT understand that this isn't just another mass-produced product, it's something special. And these signals may help to give your listing a competitive edge when buyers ask, "Unique handmade gift for blank." At the end of the day, this ChatGPT integration isn't replacing search. It's just expanding the way that people can find you. And when Etsy opens a new door like this, even if it feels a little weird or futuristic, being early is almost always an advantage. So take an hour this week, triple check your photos, attributes, alt text, and descriptions, and give ChatGPT the absolute best version of your shop to pull from. Until next time, Pookie.